Hi, this is Dr. Habib. The question is, which one is more harmful, sugars or fats? So let's start with the simple one, fats. Not all fats are equal, as you've heard. There are healthy fats like coconut fat, olive oil, and fat from nuts. But butter in particular is very interesting because we've gone full circle from the 80s. Fat is not all bad. And so that would be a natural form of fat, number one. And it's high in fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, and K. K2 particularly is good for the heart. It, in addition, is very good in a certain type of saturated fat, and that is called conjugated linoleic acid. And it's also high in something called butyrate. Butyrate feeds bacteria, which actually turn out to reduce inflammation, even in things like Crohn's disease. So fat in moderation is very good, but moderation means 1 to 3 tablespoons. When you go above that, then it's a little gray. Now, let's go back to carbs. The reason why carbs are so bad, amongst so many other things, is as you have a surge of refined carbs in particular, your insulin goes up, which turns on inflammation. But more importantly than that, sugars are converted to triglycerides, a type of cholesterol, and that it leads to what we call dense LDL. The triglyceride leaches proteins out of the LDL, low density lipoprotein, making them very dense. Now let's go back to the saturated fat. The opposite happens. Saturated fat makes the HDL, the good cholesterol, get bigger. And what the saturated fats do is that the LDL are not small and dense, they're bigger, which are safer. And I'll come to my end describing why dense LDL is bad. But with sugars, which raise triglyceride, you get dense LDL. And that's the difference. Dense LDL is atherogenic. That means they lead to blockages. Large buoyant LDLs are less atherogenic. And that's why carbs are much more harmful than fats. But remember, fats in moderation. And of the fats, if you have grass-fed cows that produce the butter, it's just going to be higher in minerals, higher in nutrients, higher in monounsaturated fats. And remember, the saturated fat that comes from natural sources is not the processed trans fats. It's the one with the high, the CLA, conjugated linoleic acid. And then finally, how do you know if you have dense LDL or buoyant large LDL? You have to measure it. We call it the molecular size. And an advanced cardiac test involves not only looking at the molecular size, but all types of other lipoproteins that are even more atherogenic than LDL, called lipoprotein little a. And then beyond that, if you really want to know what the risk factor for heart attack is, it's inflammation. Particles only block and have something to do with inflammation, but inflammation really comes from the gut and the microbes, and that is the number one reason for heart attack. And LDL particle sizes with lipoprotein little a and oxidation and many other things lead to blockages, which is more like angina. Hopefully that helps. By the way, at Next Health, we also do remote consults. If you're interested, click the link below.